recording. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Welcome, my students, grade first secondary, to a new biology session. We are talking about the unit 3, chapter 1. We are talking about chromosomes and genetic information. And this is the second session for us, talking about chromosomes. And if you remember, in the last session, we start talking about the chromosomes. And we said that the chromosomes are the hereditary material, the hereditary substance, represent the hereditary substance. بتمثل الكروموسومات المادة الوراثية. يعني إيه؟ We have many characteristics, such as our color, our skin color, our hair color, our eyes color, our tallness, our maybe our smartness, all our characteristics, the shape of our nose, the shape of our ears, and so on. All of these characteristics we inherited from our parents. You know, where did we get these characteristics? We get these characteristics from our parents. Okay? Because the human, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the human from sexual reproduction, okay, from a male gamete and female gamete. So the male gamete contain half number of chromosomes, and the female gamete contain another half number of chromosomes. So when the zygote is formed, during formation of zygote, the fertilization happens, and the sperm will join with the ovum, fertilize the ovum, and the new zygote is formed. A new cell contains complete number of chromosomes. The zygote is a cell containing complete number of chromosomes, and this number in the human is 46 chromosomes. As you see here, we have some cells contain some number, the number of chromosomes, which is 46 chromosomes. In every body cell, it is a complete number. We call it 2n. We call it 2n. Okay? This means the complete number of chromosomes are found in the somatic cells. Somatic cells contain complete number of chromosomes. Like what? The somatic cells, like the pancreas cells, the kidney cells, the skin cells, the muscle cells, the hair cells, and so on. All your body cells are somatic cells, contain a complete number of chromosomes, which are 46 chromosomes. And there is the chromosomes have genes. The chromosome contain genes which are responsible for appearance of the hereditary traits. Gene is a part of chromosome. Gene is a part of DNA. And every chromosome contains one molecule of DNA, and the chromosome contain the genes. So we have a fixed number of chromosomes in our body cells, or somatic cells have complete number of chromosomes, but we have only one type of cells contain half number of chromosomes. These cells are called reproductive cells, or the gametes. The gametes have only half number of these chromosomes. As you see here, we have the karyotype of the male somatic cell and the karyotype of the female somatic cell. If we look at the number of chromosomes, we'll see that they are 23 pairs. They are arranged in pairs. 23 pairs, the meaning of 23 pairs that they are 46 chromosomes. This is a somatic cell or a gamete. If we have 46 chromosomes or 23 pairs, is it a somatic cell or a gamete? If we have chromosomes in pairs like this, is it a somatic cell or a gamete يا شباب؟ يا بنات مين يقول لي؟
Somatic cell.
Somatic cell, very good my son. So the somatic cell contain chromosomes in pairs, but the gamete contain chromosomes in single number, 23 chromosomes only. You don't have pairs in the gamete, in the sperm and in the ovum. Okay? And the scientists, after developing of the microscope, they make a karyotype. They make the chromosomes. They take a photo for the chromosomes. They can see the chromosomes. And they arrange the chromosomes according to their size in a descending order called karyotype. As you see here, they arrange the chromosomes from the bigger one to the smaller one, starting by the bigger one and give it number 1. And ending by the smaller one and call it number 23. We have here the smallest one here, number 23 here. Number 22 is the smallest one. But number 23, we'll talk about it now. So we arrange the chromosomes in a descending order according to size and coloring them and numbering them. This is the karyotype. The karyotype أو بيسموه بالعربي الطرز الكروموسومي. كل سيل فيها كروموسومز لما نصورها كده بالميكروسكوب ونرتبهم نعمل لهم arrangement according to size ونديهم numbering pair number 1, pair number 2, pair number 3 until we reach pair number 23. Now we make a karyotype. طيب. We have the karyotype of the male cell and the karyotype of a female cell. Is there any difference between the male cell and the female cell? Of course. There is one difference only between the male cell and the female cells. The somatic cell of the male, the 23, the pair of chromosome number 23 here, this pair of chromosomes, this pair, the last pair, different from this pair in the female. The pair in the male different from the female. Why? Because the gender or the sex is determined by this pair. This pair controls the gender or the sexuality. Are you male or a female? It depends on this pair number 23. So we call them the sex pair of chromosomes, the sex chromosomes. And the other chromosomes, the 22 pairs are called somatic chromosomes or autosomes. Autosomes, the first 22 pairs of chromosomes. And the sex chromosomes, the pair number 23. The pair number 23 only is different from male and female. يعني ايه؟ يعني 22 pairs similar in male and female cells. But only the pair number 23 different from male from female. If we have the two chromosomes X and Y. So this cell we found that the 6 chromosomes X and Y. Is it a male or a female? If they are different in size, it is a male. Very good. It is a male because we have two different chromosomes in the 6 chromosomes. And if we have the 6 chromosomes was two similar chromosomes, X and X. So it will be what? Female. It will be, the person will be a female. So there is only one difference between the male and the female chromosomes in one pair of chromosomes, which is called pair number 23 or the 6 chromosomes. There is no difference at all in the first 22 chromosomes, which are called somatic chromosomes or autosomes. Okay? Okay. So we have to remember the definition of karyotype. The karyotype is what? The karyotype is the descending arrangement of chromosomes according to their size and the numbering them and the coloring them. Type. The right position of the last pair, pair number 23, is after number 7. But we don't put it in its position because it is different from the other chromosomes. We don't place it in the right position according to the size. Because it's a real place. If we put it in the correct place, it will be after the pair number 7 here. For example, here. If we put it in the correct place, we'll put it here. But we don't put it here because it is a different pair. It is a 6 pairs of chromosomes. So we'll put it in the end in the pair number 23. We give it the last position or the last place in the karyotype. Type. After that, if we have a gamete, sperm or ovum, what is the difference between somatic cell and a gamete? If we have here a gamete, the karyotype of a gamete, for example, like this, what is the difference will be? The difference will be every chromosome will be single. The difference will be every chromosome will be a single, not pair. Chromosomes will be single. This is number 1, and this is number 2, and this is number 3, and this is number 4, and this is number 5, and this is number 6, and so on. If we make it single chromosomes like this, so this represents what? This represents the karyotype of what? The karyotype of a somatic cell or a gamete?
Somatic.
Gamete. So if we have single chromosomes like this, it will be a gamete, not a somatic cell. This will be a gamete karyotype. This will be a gamete karyotype. So the difference between the somatic cell and the gamete, the chromosomes in pairs in the somatic cell, and it is single in the gamete, in the sperm or ovum. In the sperm or ovum, there is a single chromosomes only, not pairs. Is it okay? Okay. Now we have different, the shape of X and Y. We have X, which is bigger than Y in size. This is the chromosome X, and this is the chromosome Y. The X is bigger, more bigger than Y, as you see in the side. So this is the chromosome X, and this is the chromosome Y, which is very small, which is absent. The Y chromosome is absent in the females, but only found in the male cells. After that, we have some number of chromosomes in different living organisms. We have in the human 46 chromosome, gorilla 48, the hen 32, and so on. So we can say that there is different number of chromosomes in each living organism, in each species. But the number of chromosomes is fixed in one species. Yani all humans have 46 chromosomes. All the human beings have 46 chromosomes, unless there is a abnormal person or some mutation happen, the number will change. It will be not a normal person, abnormal person, okay? And the number of chromosomes doesn't represent the development of the size of the living organism. Yani look at the dog, you will see it is a 78. The number of chromosomes in the dog, 78. Does it mean it is smarter than or bigger than the human? Of course not. The number of chromosomes doesn't represent the size or the development of the living organism. Okay. Now we are going to talk about the chromosomal theory. The chromosomal theory. Okay. Here we have the chromosomal theory. It talks about some basics. When we are talking about chromosomes, we have some basics. The scientists Bovary and Saturn make this theory. Bovary and Saturn make this theory. Bovary, remember these names, Bovary and Saturn, make this theory at the year 1902, 1902, which states some basics. If you are talking about the chromosomes, you have to know that chromosomes exist in somatic cells in homologous pairs, 2n. In the somatic cells, they are double chromosomes. They are homologous. Diploid number. We can call it a diploid number. You can say also this word, diploid number. Diploid number means they are in pairs, not single, not single. They are in pairs. And we have 23 pairs. And in every somatic cell in the human. But the gametes have half number of chromosomes because they come from a meiotic division. If you remember, we have studied the meiotic division in grade 9. The meiosis or the meiotic division decrease the number of chromosomes into half. Okay? Whereas the homologous pairs of chromosomes separated from each other, forming two identical groups. If you remember, we have in the gametes, in the sperm or ovum, we have half number. It is N only, single number of chromosomes. It is N only, not 2N. It is a single number. You can say it is haploid. Haploid number. Haploid number. single pairs, single chromosomes only, not double chromosomes. Okay. And each pair of chromosomes act independently when being transferred to gametes. Each chromosome pair act independently, يعني without interference between the other chromosomes. Each pair of chromosomes separated, and every single chromosome could the one pole of the cell independently without any intersection or reaction with other chromosomes. They transfer to the gametes from the parent cell to the gametes. And after fertilization process, we have now gametes. After fertilization process, the male gamete and the female gamete fuses together. If you remember, we have, for example, here the sperm. We have here the sperm, and it has half number of chromosomes. The male gamete is called what? Sperm. And we have also the ovum. The ovum, which has another N. The ovum has another N. Here we have the ovum and the sperm. The male gamete and the female gamete. When they fuse together, this process is called fertilization. Process of fusion of the male gamete and the female gamete. They make a new cell, which is called the new cell is called what? Do you know? It's called zygote. The new cell is called what? Zygote. The zygote contain what? A complete number of chromosomes, which is 2n. The complete number, the diploid number returned back again after fertilization happened between the male gamete and the female gamete. So we have now a complete number of chromosomes formed by fertilization, by sexual reproduction. So the new individual will be formed from the development of the zygote. The zygote divides many times and makes the embryo. Then the embryo grow up and make a new individual. So the diploid number or the complete number returned back again after fertilization process. And each chromosome carries hundreds of genes, because the chromosome contains one molecule of DNA. The chromosome contains one molecule of what? Of DNA. And this DNA is a long thread, a very long thread, which contains big number of genes, maybe hundreds or thousands. If you remember, we have studied the nucleic acid DNA in the first unit, if you remember. And also we have studied RNA. Okay, let's continue. This is the chromosomal theory, which is talking about the chromosomes, the basics about chromosomes. We have here to compare between the somatic cell and the gametes. I need Salma to read the somatic cell, and I need Ruqayya to read the gametes. Everyone read one statement only. Salma, can you read the first statement? Somatic cell come from where? Produced by what division? Can you hear me, Salma?
Mitosis.
Yeah, it's produced by mitosis, and it contains a complete number of half number or half number. The somatic cell contains complete number of or half number?
Chromosome.
Complete number of chromosomes. Is it diploid or haploid?
Diploid.
They contain 2 sets of chromosomes. Example of somatic cells.
Cells of liver, skin.
Pancreas. Okay, thank you, Salma. The liver, skin, pancreas, the muscles, the hair, the bones, the blood, all of these cells are somatic cells, okay? Now, Ruqayya, can you read about the reproductive cells or the gametes? Produced by what division?
By meiosis. Meiosis.
Meiosis in the gonads, okay. It contains what?
Half number of chromosomes.
And they are called what?
Haploid.
They are haploid number. They are haploid number. And they contain one set of chromosomes. And they are two types. What are they?
Male gametes and female gametes.
Yeah, male gametes, which is sperm in the human, and pollen grains in the plant. And the female ovum. Is it okay? The difference here, compare between somatic cell and the reproductive cell, this is a very important question, okay? Let's move forward. Continue. Here we are talking about the gonads. What is meant by gonads? The gonads are the reproductive organs, like ovaries and two testes. They are the organs which make the gametes. They can divide meiotic. They can divide by meiosis, and they can produce the gametes. And the gonads, cells of the gonads are diploid. The cells of the gonads are diploid. But when they make the meiotic division, they make the gametes. Now, they can divide meiotically and they make the gametes. The cells of the gonads, the cells of the ovary, the cells of the testes can divide and make the gametes by meiotic division. We have two types of gonads. The male gonads in the human is called two testes, and the answer in the plant. And in the female, in plant and human and animals, they are called ovaries. Okay? Okay. So you have to know about the gonads. Now we can go to talk about the Mendelian inheritance, about the inheritance. Inheritance of the hereditary traits. When we are talking about inheritance, meaning how do the parents give their characteristics to their offspring or to their sons and daughters? How can the parents give their characteristics to their offspring or daughters and sons? So how do the hereditary traits transfer from one generation to another? When we are talking about the inheritance, we have to talk about Mendel, the scientist which is called Gregor Mendel, and the Mendelian inheritance. But before we talk about Mendel and the Mendelian inheritance, I'd like to show you a video about chromosomes. I'd like to show you a video about chromosomes. Okay, let's see this video together and continue to.
We've always come across the saying, humans have 23 pairs of chromosomes. But what are they made up of? And where are they actually located in the cell? Let's try and answer all of these queries in this session. Here we have this simple cell as an example. Can you see the thread-like structures here in the nucleus? These threads are called chromatids. They are usually tangled in this fashion when present in a regular active cell. Now, what if this cell has to undergo division? Is it possible to divide this single cell into two equal halves with such a tangled bundle of threads? Of course not. Imagine we have these different colored threads tangled together. If we were to separate them, then what should be the first thing we should do? We will first separate each thread and then make separate bunches. In a similar way, even the cells separate these chromatid threads. This process is aided by condensation of the threads. It means these chromatid material will gradually start coiling like a telephone wire. As a result, the threads will gain structures like these. Are we familiar with this kind of a structure? Have we come across it before? That's correct. It is the structure of a typical chromosome. What are chromosomes? Well, we'll get into their details in the upcoming sessions. For now, we need to get a basic idea about them. So we have this cell with threads sorted in this classical chromosome structure. This structure is seen only when the cell is in the process of division. So can we say that both chromatids and chromosomes are the same? Yes, they are. The different names.
Here we are talking about the chromosomes before condensation and after condensation. The chromosomes in the nucleus of the cell were in the shape of chromatin reticulum, as the picture in the left side. And when the cell starts division, in the interphase before the division, the chromosomes duplicate the genetic material, or the chromatin duplicate itself and make double chromosomes. So duplication of genetic material is very important step in making the division. Before making the cell division, the chromosomes appear in the beginning of the prophase, in the start of the cell division, meiotic division and also mitotic division. But before the chromosomes appear, there is an important step happens during the interphase, which is called duplication of genetic materials. Continue.
Names are for the different structures. Now the next question is, what are these threads, or chromosomes to be precise, made up of? If we zoom into the structure of this chromosome, we find small segments like these that make up the complete structure. These functional segments are nothing but genes.
So here, if we look at the chromosome, we can see the chromosome is divided into many parts, and these parts are the genes. So the chromosome carry hundreds of genes, or maybe thousands of genes. Gene is a part of the chromosome. Gene is a part of the chromosome.
So can we say that chromosomes are made up of genes? Absolutely. All these segments make up the whole structure. Now let me ask you one more interesting question. Do you think the genes will also be made up of something? Will there be units that make up these segments? If your answer is yes, then you're absolutely right. Genes are also made up of some units. If we zoom inside this gene segment, then we find large molecules like these that make up the segment. These large molecules, or macromolecules to be precise, are DNA molecules. This is not a new term for us. We are quite familiar with the term DNA as it's very commonly used these days. But what exactly are these DNA molecules? Well, this single large molecule is composed of 3 units. And what units are these? Let's reserve this explanation for our upcoming videos. For now, all we need to know is that DNA is made up of these units. Now, to quickly review what we learnt, let me remove the text from the screen.
We know that the chromosome is made up of DNA molecule and protein. And the DNA molecule we have studied in the unit 1, it is a macromolecule, which is a nucleic acid, contain of 3 main parts. The first part, which is a sugar, ribose sugar, or deoxyribose sugar. And the second part is phosphate group. We have ribose sugar in the red color. This one is the ribose sugar, which is a pentagonal shape. This is the sugar. And we have also phosphate group in this red blue color, phosphate group, which is PO4. And we have also in this green color, we have the nitrogenous bases. The nitrogenous bases. Okay? The nitrogenous base is different from one nucleotide to another. This unit is called the nucleotide. This unit, which is the building unit of the DNA, is called the nucleotide. The nucleotide is made of 3 parts, which is ribose sugar or deoxyribose sugar, the phosphate group, and the nitrogenous base. Nitrogenous bases may be adenine, guanine, cytosine, and thymine in the DNA. And thymine is changed into uracil in the RNA molecule. And we have studied it also in unit 1. Just we will know now, we need to know that the DNA is made up of units. These units are called nucleotides.
These 3 combine to give us a single molecule. And many such DNA molecules form long chains. What is a sequence of DNA molecules called? That's right, it's called a gene. So technically, segments of DNA molecules which form functional units are called genes. And many genes come together to form thread-like structures called chromosomes. Chromosome is the classical structure obtained only during cell division.
So here, this is the basic structure of the DNA. Inshallah, this part of the lesson will continue in the next session, inshallah. The complete dominance, the Mendelian inheritance, we'll talk about it in the next session, inshallah. Up till now, I want you, please, to make a summary for what we have studied in this lesson. I want you to make a summary and send me your summary for the part which we have studied in this lesson, okay? I want you to make a summary for what we have studied. What is meant by chromosome, what's meant by gene, what's meant by somatic cell and reproductive cell, what's meant of karyotype, what's meant of the chromosomal theory. I want you to make it and send me, inshallah. Is it okay? This is your homework, Ruqayya and Salma. Can you make it, inshallah? Make a summary for this part of the lesson. Can you make?
Yes, Master.
I am waiting for your homework next session, inshallah. And next time I will see your homework. Send me on private. Send me on WhatsApp your summary for this part of the lesson, okay?
Okay.
Okay, this is our end of our session today. I'd like to thank you very much. I will send you the recording, inshallah, after some time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.